Hi, this is Frank Wagner with SCT, and I am here today to talk to you about some of the work that we've done recently on some marketing literature, specifically for the HI&I market, or household, industrial, and institutional. Since we've had a fair bit of time to be at home in our home offices, this is one of the things that we've chosen to move forward with. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the content is today. We're not going to talk too much about, in specific about the various products, but we are going to talk about some of the tools that are available to you as a customer or as a salesperson, trying to solve people's problems with general things that relate to the HI&I industry. Well, no further ado, I'm going to jump right in here. So it opens up with a similar product grouping. So if you've ever looked at any of our brochures, like our personal care brochure, you may recognize this, that we have some categorizations. We have this basically broken down into three categories or three groupings in this brochure. First, we open with application groups. So that's going to tell you what products certain products are good at, what they're not good at. The various categories, and that's going to be along the same categories that you see in, say, like personal care, amphoterics, betanes, and sulfates, etc. And then we have a couple of pages that are going to give you some very detailed information on applications and properties. Again, it's going to help you drill down to the exact properties that you need to actually formulate your product. So the first page, or the first bit of information that we provide, is on film and streak reducers. So these are all products that can be used to basically, in any application where a low amount of residue is going to be absolutely necessary. Things like hard surface cleaners, like for black tile or for granite and things like that, or glass cleaners where you just have to have a very, very clean wipe from it. These are all used at about 1 to 3%. And if you look through this whole list of products, there's actually one thing in common about all of them, and that is that they are all low foamers. So that's one of the ways you can get to a low film and streak, is to actually not provide a lot of foam, because the more something foams, the greater the amount of cleanup or the amount of work that the user of that end product is going to have to do to get all of that residue up. The next is another common question that we get. It's about hypochlorite bleach stable products. So here we have a list of products that are all hypochlorite stable. It covers a wide variety of different things. Some of them are going to be good at thickening bleach. Some of them are just going to be good at providing foam to bleach. And some are actually going to be very good at not providing any foam to bleach while still staying stable. The next is somewhat related to the hypochlorite bleach, but it's hydrogen peroxide stable products. So usually that comes up. Hydrogen peroxide is a very growing space in the area of hard surface cleaning. So it's actually a fairly common question these days. But here we have a listing of all the products that you can use with hypochlorite, or with hydrogen peroxide, excuse me, that will be perfectly stable with that. And then next we list all of our clean ingredients products. So these are the products that have gone through the US EPA's Safer Choice screening program, and they met the criteria to be used. So they are able to be used in Safer Choice formulas. And what this basically means for someone who's doing this, so if you've ever done this before, you'll know that if it's already passed the screening, it's actually going to be cheaper for you, because you won't have to pay for that screening to be done again. So it ends up being easier for people to formulate these Safer Choice products. We have about 7 products listed, and we're actually adding to this all the time, so you can probably expect for this this list to grow. But we do have a couple of betanes, a saltane, a very common workhorse amine oxide, even a concentrated surfactant system, and then a simple potassium soap. So next we're going to talk about the categories that we have. So we open up with some of our quaternary conditioners, we move on to amides, amphoterics, anionics, performance concentrates, and amine oxides. And one thing that you're going to note real quickly about the HI&I brochure versus the personal care is this one's a little more focused. So we've pared down the product line for ones that are specifically going to work or be the workhorses for this particular market. Next we're going to talk about applications and properties. And so as you get towards the back of the catalog, you're going to find a listing of properties that range from Draves Wedding to surface activity to foam to caustic solubility and coupling. And the reason why we've chosen those particular properties is those are ones that are very unique to HI&I, and they're actually very important properties to HI&I. We're going to talk about what each of those are if they're not familiar to you now in just a minute, but to walk you through what the information that's in the chart. Basically, you have a moon, either a full moon or a half moon or a no moon at all. That's going to kind of let you know whether that's either a fast, moderate, or slow with respect to property, or it's high, moderate, or low. And so we've listed a number of different products in both acidic and alkaline systems, just because in particular amphoterics, they can change properties based on whether they're formulated in an acidic system, whether they're in an alkaline system. So we have tested on both of those and provide information on whether they're going to be really good at something or they're going to be really bad at something. We'll talk now a little bit about what some of those properties are. So the first is Draves Wedding, and Draves Wedding is actually a really useful tool for a number of different things. And it basically involves a simple skein. It's a piece of cotton that is dropped into a solution of your surfactant, usually around 0.1%, always above whatever that critical micelle concentration or CMC of that chemical is, and you basically time how quickly all of the air is displaced from that cotton. So how quickly the water and the surfactant penetrate into that particular skein. And where that is useful is, so if I'm doing a carpet shampoo, for instance, I'm going to want a very, very slow Draves wetter because I want that surfactant to be working primarily on the surface of the carpet and not penetrating deep into the carpet backing, because we know that that's going to lead to a fair amount of residue potentially being there, which can lead to issues later for pets and whatnot who are walking on that carpet basically barefoot, or for humans who may want to walk on that carpet barefoot. But also, it's going to leave that carpet wet for a long time. You want that to dry as quickly as possible, and the more you can stay on the surface of something, the more ideal that would be. Compare that to another application where you would want a fast Draves wetter, like laundry. You would want, for laundry, you want that detergent to penetrate very quickly through the entire surface of the fabric that's being cleaned, because it's just going to make it work that much better to displace the stains and do the job that you're intending it to do. Our next properties are caustic solubility and foam. So caustic solubility is probably more important to the I&I industry than it is the straight up household, and that's just because they are always trying to concentrate things as much as they can. So the more you can remove water, the more concentrated they can make it, the more the water can be added at the time of use, which is certainly very useful to them. It saves money. It makes for a smaller footprint, which a lot of times these supply closets are have limited space, and so you need to make what little bit of footprint you do get in those the most effective for you. So one of the ways you can do that is you use surfactants to basically pack in things like caustic or sodium hydroxide, concentrate that up as much as possible for later dilution. So that is another property that is listed on there, and again, you'll see if it's whether it's really good at solubilizing it or whether it's just moderately good at doing that. The next is foam, which is actually probably one of the most important properties that you have when it does come to HI&I. Basically, you either want it or you don't want it, and not terribly complicated a thing, but if you are doing a liquid dish detergent, and you're going to want obviously a whole lot of foam in that, because the consumer perception is foaming is cleaning. Whereas if I'm doing a cleaner like automatic dish or high efficiency laundry, foam is actually a pretty serious issue. And if you've ever put the wrong kind of detergent into a automatic dishwasher, you'll know that from firsthand knowledge. But same with high efficiency laundry. The more foam that exists, they can certainly the washers can generally handle that. However, it's going to mean more and more water is used and for longer cycle times in those things, because they've got to dilute that foam out. So very different applications, some that really need to have the foam around, and others that you really don't want it. And what you'll see is from the product line and the products that we've selected, you have a nice selection of things that are going to foam really, really high and things that are going to foam pretty much not at all. The next and last property is coupling, and coupling is actually somewhat related to caustic solubility. It's also referred to as hydrotroping, and one of the most common hydrotropes that you see used out there is sodium xylene sulfonate, or SXS. What we have here with our products is many of them are amphoterics, and many of them actually can provide that same coupling that you can get from SXS. And you also get the added benefit that you're actually also introducing a detergent. So you actually are improving the system, whereas SXS really only provides the hydrotroping part. And so if you're not familiar with that property, it's basically the ability of an ingredient to reduce or increase the cloud point or reduce the tendency of ingredients to crystallize in a given product. So you need to have a nice, stable, clear formula, particularly if you're wanting to concentrate things up. Coupling agents are one way to do that. And over the years, as the market has moved away from nonylphenol ethoxylates and some other ingredients, the main answer to that has largely been things like alcohol ethoxylates. They are biodegradable, so they're great. They're real powerful non-ionics, good at degreasing. However, they're often not terribly compatible with the water, and so one way to get to the same properties that you had from a nonylphenol ethoxylate formula would be to take a alcohol ethoxylate and couple that with one of our amphoterics, and basically have the same detergency and the same cloud points and all of the same properties that you were looking for with that. With that is actually all I have for you on the Household Care Product Guide. You can download that on our website by clicking on the Brochures tab at any point, day or night, for those of you who are night owls. But certainly if you do have any questions, SCT is here for you. Thank you.